This recording should help articulate some of the things that we're attempting to do in terms of organising remote learning. Let's talk first of all about task setting, as in today's training some people were asking the difference between setting tasks via the VLE as a means of organising remote learning and building VLE pages. Now, to articulate this quite clearly, task setting, if we are dealing with lots of people or indeed a whole school learning remotely, is not going to be sufficient of itself. What I would like task setting via the VLE to do is to signpost activities. It may describe those activities, but the materials to complete those activities should be completed via the VLE pages that we set up. And I think that in the tasks that we set, which are the signposts for what we want achieved, we should link into the VLE pages where those activities can be completed. So for example, if I were setting a task of week 1, lesson 1, third form geography, coasts, the activity description may be read the article on coast formation and then complete the exercises in the VLE, in the box on the VLE page, along with a link to the VLE page. What the VLE page itself would have to do, which we would have to build, would have the article there, would have, for example, a question with a box in order to fill out the activity and to complete it so that the teacher can go and pick it up and then be able to mark and give feedback on that work. You can, of course, give feedback quickly via a VLE task, so that will then record for that student. The aim of the pages really is to replicate a place where we can create activities that will take a similar amount of time to that ordinarily spent in task. So the reading of that article and the writing of a short essay may, for example, take 35 minutes. What we're not looking to replicate is the same level of student-teacher interaction and contact as 35 minutes. However, there's a variety of material that we could use in which to do this. So audio and some teacher talk alongside some written material, so a sort of plenary session could be possible as part of some of that time. We wouldn't use it for all of it. Video, similarly, so from external sources may be a useful way of doing some of this. Some writing activities, which can be submitted either via the VLE or remotely via email, will be possible. But writing materials in relation to tasks on a VLE page. Some of it could be quizzes, and those quizzes could involve research that they're doing offline using some resources. It could be that they're submitting work and indeed writing and creating work. It could be that we're giving feedback in some of those sessions, which we can do either remotely, via written feedback on essays, which we can scan and send to them. It could be via individual contact, via email or any other format. It can be in a number of ways, but these are all activities that we can use to replicate the amount of time that we would ordinarily have with a student during the course of that given working week. Now let's talk organisation for a moment. What I'm hoping here is that we're going to organise these pages via year group. So I think, for example, let's not set them by class. So organise by year group, not by individual class. So what we may have, for example, is for third form English, we may have a week 1 page, which includes within it lesson 1, lesson 2, etc. And for each one of those, we would have activities which people in the third form studying English are pointed towards. What I would suggest in terms of departmental organisation is that heads of department assign one person to be in charge of the collation of materials for that class, and that they collate those activities for the year group, liaising with their colleagues over the material that they've already got. Now, of course, we would do that at the point at which we move to very significant remote working, not at a stage where we have very few people. At present, where we have very few people away, we simply set tasks as we do ordinarily but where we can do so, we augment the materials that we have on the VLE to support that. So if we've got handouts right now that we're using with a class, most of whom we're teaching in the normal way, then we put those handouts on the VLE page. If we feel confident to do so, we can audio record some of the lesson, pop that on the VLE page for that person. But really, this move towards year group pages and week 1, lesson 2, etc., we would move to at a point where we were in a situation where we had lots of people away. But that's the organisation that I would want when we get there. I hope that's of some use. Allied to that, I'm going to ask heads of department to survey their classes with some questions about how they found the training today, what they feel confident on, what they don't feel confident on, what they would like next. And that will be on a VLE survey along with this embedded video. Thank you for listening.